Let's do it. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Advisory Commission. It is October 2nd. I call this meeting to order. Travis, will you be taking roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Lorman? Here. Russell?
Here.
Zaccaro?
Here.
Christ?
Here.
Norton?
Here.
Mulligan?
Here. Can you confirm we are in compliance with the Iowa Open Meetings Law?
We can.
Okay. All right, commissioners, in front of you are our minutes from September the 4th. I'll hear any modifications, comments, or entertain a motion for approval as submitted.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from September 4th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Travis?
Lorman?
Abstain.
Zaccaro?
Aye.
Christ?
Abstain.
Norton?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
Mulligan?
Aye. Okay, those minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, so this evening we've got, we actually have 2 action items and a single public hearing. So we're going to move on to our first action item, which is, let's see, on North Cascade Road and North English Road. Looks like a preliminary plat of Miller North Cascade Road subdivision. Is our applicant here this evening?
Mr. Chair, I'm going to recuse myself from the conversation.
Very good. Thank you. The floor is yours.
I am Tom Larson with Beasing Associates, 1212 Locust Street here in Dubuque. Chris Miller, the applicant, was unable to make it tonight, so he asked that I attend for him. I think, for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. He'd like to divide the subdivision into 14 residential lots and 4 commercial lots. The commercial lots will happen sometime in the future. He'd like to get going on the residential lots as soon as possible. It does not have city sanitary or city water in this area, so he is planning on installing 3 wells, 4 to 6 homes per well, and the sanitary sewer will be individual septic systems. It's county standard development, I guess, with a 24-foot wide, no curb and gutter, paved street with, in this situation, a ditch on one side, on the west side, I guess, because of the way the land lays. They're fairly large lots, 3 to 5 acres, I guess, in most situations. So I think that should about cover it.
Yeah.
If you have any questions.
Thanks, Tom. Any questions from our commission? Pretty straightforward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff report?
Yes.
Sheena?
Thank
Okay.
you, Chair Mulligan. So Sheena Moon, Associate Planner. As the applicant articulated, this is a preliminary plat for property out off of North English Lane and North Cascade Road. This is in the county, the Dubuque County. However, it is within the city's 2-mile extraterritorial jurisdiction, and therefore the city does have the ability to review. And so what the applicant is proposing, it's approximately a 75-acre piece of property. It is proposing to be consisted of a total of 18 lots. 4 of them, as you can see in the image here on the screen, the northern 4 would be utilized for commercial zoning, or commercial use rather. And then the southern portion of the site would be developed with 14 residential lots. And as the applicant articulated, they are fairly large, more rural style residential lots rather, intended, as I understand, for single family residential development. So the site is currently consisted of 6, but as I said, they would be subdividing to the total of 18 lots. The property is not within close proximity to city water or sewer. And so as the applicant articulated, they will be proposing septic systems for the residential lots and commercial lots, and they will also be installing wells as far as water service. The development does include a private street, as you can see, running through the middle of the development. And as such, this will require both review as a preliminary plat by the Zoning Advisory Commission and City Council. So just to recap a little bit here, so again, water would be communal wells and the septic systems for as far as sanitary. Generally, staff does anticipate approximately 140 vehicle trips for residential lots in this area. However, at this time, we would not know exactly what the commercial uses would be on those lots, and so that could be evaluated at a future time. And so again, this would be part of potentially any review through the county's process as well. Existing public services other than water and sewer are adequate to serve the area. Again, this is large lot residential development. I believe that is all I have this evening. Unless the commission has any questions, we'd be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Great. Any questions for Sheena?
Is this something where the planning department sent out notices to those nearby houses?
So the preliminary plats do not require public notification, so no, that there were not mailed notices.
Thank you.
How close do we have water here?
I want to say it was approximately a mile away. Yeah, so, and actually, I can pull up our GIS too. Zoom out here. It was more, not so much a matter of if it will be there, but maybe when. The city does have future plans to expand water into that area. But again, pending any development in that area, we would wait to see. So the properties we're talking about in the image here are here. So here, shift and do this. These are the lots here. A portion of that there. So those are generally the property. The black and white dash lines that you're seeing here is part of what the city projects as future water locations. There is also discussions about potentially sanitary sewer extending through this area. And so as part of the plat, there is an 80-foot sanitary or public utility easement that runs along the southern portion in anticipation for potential future expansion of that. But again, at this point in time, these blue lines, as you see up in the where my cursor is here, are indicating where we currently have water. So that would be the closest. And then again, these dash lines would indicate potential future. So that could shift. But so yeah, it is a fairly good distance away at this time.
Okay. Cool. All right. If there's no additional questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval as submitted.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second?
Very good. We have a motion and we have a second. Travis?
Zakaro,
Aye.
Christ,
Aye.
Norton, abstained, sorry. Lorman,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and Mulligan.
Aye. Okay. that
And then
motion-
Chair Mulligan, if I may, just to clarify, this will go to the October 21st City Council meeting, just as a note. Thank you.
21st. Okay, that passes, and we'll go to council, as Sheena said.
Thank you.
Very good, all right. Thanks, Tom. We'll move on to our next item here at 16071 Middle Road. And just for the commission, as an FYI, that's actually the third item in your package. Is our applicant here? He is.
Yes, sir. Dave Schneider, Schneider Land Surveying, 906 First Street North, Farley, Iowa. I'm working with Ken Kress, the realtor on this project, and the Merkus family to basically reconfigure 4 existing tax parcels into 4 other lots, I guess. Basically what's happening here is this is an estate. The Merkus's mother Teresa passed away, and they're basically selling this portion of the farm as well as 40 acres south of Middle Road, which I believe that's out in the county, so it doesn't really, and they're selling it as an existing tax parcel. But so basically we're kind of working with the family to just kind of figure out what's the most logical way to split this thing up. 2 of the family members desire to retain part of this farm. There's one, lot 2 is a pond area that's adjacent to one of the brothers on Dreamway Drive. He wants to retain that pond area, and then another brother farms, and those are some ag buildings that he wants to retain as part of his operation. And then basically lot 1 and lot 3 will be put up for auction along with the 40 acres south of Middle Road. So basically just a reconfiguration of 4 parcels into 4 parcels for the sale.
Very good. Thanks, Dave.
Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Dave? All right, thank you much.
Assistant Planner Travis Schrobelgen. So as the applicant stated, they are going from 4 to 4. This is a final plat and it's a minor plat. It does require a waiver for Lot 1 for lot frontage. It does front on the end of Dreamway easement, but not a street, and therefore a waiver is required for that lot. Otherwise, it is in substantial conformance with the UDC and requirements for subdivision. As you can see, Lot 3 does have some sanitary sewer easements going through from west to east and coming from the south. And then the shape of Lot 1 was located in that location, in that shape, for potential future road with future subdivisions. The properties at Lot 1 and 3 could continue to be agricultural property. It is an ag, RROD, Rural Residential Overlay District, which simply means it stays ag until there's a residential subdivision there, and then it can convert to an R1. And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
What was that acronym?
RROD, Rural Residential Overlay District. Fairly straightforward.
Or maybe him.
All right, with that, entertain any questions or a motion for approval as submitted.
I move we recommend approval of the plat of survey of Middle Fork Second Edition, subject to waiving Lot 1's lot frontage requirements.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Travis?
Christ,
Aye.
Zuccaro,
Aye.
Lorman, Russell,
Aye.
Norton,
Aye.
Mulligan.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Thank you, Dave. Okay, our final item is a public hearing. It is the rezoning of 1,000 Cedar Cross Road to rezone from CS Commercial Service to C3 General Commercial. Is our applicant here? If you would just state your name and address and what you're after from the commission.
Hi, Samantha Wright, 1000 Cedar Cross Road, Primrose, Dubuque. I'm looking to rezone the building from CS to C3. I currently have a consignment boutique, so we're just looking to get it under the retail side of it. There are C3 across the street and in the area. It's all commercial around that area also.
Yeah. Tell me the name of the business that's in there.
Primrose DBQ.
That's right. Okay.
Yes. You're welcome.
Any questions for Samantha? Thank you. All right, so this one's a little different. This is a public hearing, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any public comment. Great, seeing none, I'll close it. Okay, so let's move on to staff report.
Yes.
Sheena?
Yes, thank you. Sheena Moon, Associate Planner. So as the applicant articulated, they're seeking to rezone the property from CS Commercial Service to C3 General Commercial. So part of how this came about was there was a zoning enforcement, our zoning enforcement officer went out on the site, and I believe it was related to some signage. And so realized that unfortunately the applicant was operating in the location, but the current zoning CS does not allow for retail sales and service. And so the applicant, promptly wanting to remedy that, has been working with staff to submit this application and make this request. And so the proposed rezoning, as mentioned, would be to the C3 zoning district, and which would allow for that retail sales and service. And as Samantha mentioned, there is a little bit of a mix of zoning out here in this Cedar Cross Road corridor. C3 is certainly, as you can see in the image here, is directly across the street. And as well as peppered through other areas. So it is a mix of industrial lands or industrial zonings, CS and C3 commercial, as well as some residential peppered in throughout as well. So the C3, we believe, will be consistent consistent with the other zoning districts in the area. And if you'd like to take a look at that kind of comparison of uses, you can certainly do so. That's in the packet here, and just a highlight of what are similar uses. Overall, the C3 does allow for some additional uses, but again, we feel as though that would be consistent with the other districts in the area. And so with that, staff does not have any additional comments, but we're happy to answer questions that you may have.
How many zoning officers do we have?
We have one zoning enforcement officer, Charlie Miller.
I'll be darned.
Yes, he's a very busy guy. Yes. So we work, just to clarify that, we work on a complaint basis. So we're not, Charlie's not just driving around town looking for violations. He goes out and investigates when we have something that is a complaint. So this one came through, and so we're working with the applicant to get things aligned with the code.
Very good. Okay. Any questions for staff? I'm intrigued by the complaint. Really? There was a complaint?
It was related to signage, and I think there was a freestanding sign that someone maybe had thought was like blocking a visibility with vehiculars or something of that nature. So and Travis might know a little bit more details. Okay, that's what we believe. Yes, we know it was signage. So again, when he goes out and we look at the site, we have to take a look and make sure everything is compliant. And so unfortunately, in this instance, the retail sales and services was not compliant. So we're here to remedy that.
All right, very good. All right, I'll entertain a motion from our commission.
I'll make a motion to rezone the property from CS to C3.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Travis?
Norton.
Aye.
Christ.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
Foreman.
Aye.
Zakaro.
Aye.
Mulligan.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. Sheena, will that go to City Council?
Yes, that will go to City Council on October 21st.
All right, Samantha, good job. You're almost
There.
You're almost there.
Almost legal.
That's right. Okay. Well, let's move on. Where are we?
Items from the public.
That's right, okay.
Thank you.
Any items from the public? Great, seeing none. Any items from our commission this evening? Let's see, so we did all of our, we know all of our elections, right? We're done, we know who's
Yeah,
serving
officers.
at the
Yes.
airport.
Yes.
never go there.
That was all remedied. Yes. You were elected to chair. You were here for that. Were you here for that meeting? You're chair. You're continuing to be chair. So congratulations. I think that probably
And
was
we're still
implied, but
short.
we are short one
person.
position. Yeah, and actually, I do believe we've had an application. I don't know the specifics about the application for zoning advisory commissioner. But that will be going to city council. I'm looking at Wally in the back of the room, just because that will have to go through the city council process, but we can, but we have had an application, which is great. So it'd be great to fill that
good.
seventh position. Yep.
Okay.
And then actually, I did have just one other thing. I don't know, Chair Mulligan, if you had anything else there, but just a matter of just follow up. So in the last packet email that went out, I think Renee had asked a question about whether everybody still wants to receive a printed copy of the packet or not. And so we always like to touch base every so often. We haven't done it in a while, just to see who would still like a physical copy and who maybe doesn't. So whichever preference, if you want to maybe just let us know after the meeting tonight what your preference would be. And we'll still send it electronically either way. But if you'd like a printed copy, we'll continue doing that as well. So just let us know and we can make sure that we have you checked on the right boxes for that. So that's all I had with respect to staff items.
Travis, anything from you?
Nothing at all.
All right, great. All right, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.